What's up, guys, and welcome back to another Paper Movies, a novelization book club discussion. Today, we're going to be reviewing the novelizations to one of the greatest disasters in cinema history, and that is Jaws: The Revenge. The novelization was by Hank Searls, who wrote the novelization to Jaws 2. You're going to need a bigger book. Yeah. And it was based on a screenplay by Michael D. Guzman, inspired by Peter Benchley's Jaws. Joining us, or I should say, this is probably episode 2 of the Men with Beards podcast. We have Geek Static Beard down here. We have Stupid Chainsaw Beard down here. And up here, I'll be the host for this episode. I'm the Red 5 Beard. So.
Paper Movies, aka Men with Beards.
So, Jaws the Revenge. Before we get started with our thoughts, because it's probably going to be a doozy of a discussion in this episode, I'll give you a little brief synopsis, but I'll just give the basic synopsis because we'll come to find out that both the book and the movie are a little different. So we have the basic premise is that Sean Brody was the son of Chief Brody, was killed by the shark at the beginning of this book, and the Ellen Brody believes that the shark has a personal vendetta against the Brody family, and she travels down to her older son Michael's house in the Bahamas. He's a marine biologist studying conch shells, and they find out that the shark has followed them all the way from Amity Island to the Bahamas to seek some revenge, and because that totally happens in real life.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
So if you haven't noticed the thumbnail, Matthew actually made the thumbnail where it's a picture of me being eaten by the shark. And I'm pretty sure after I made these guys read this novelization, they kind of wish I was eaten by a shark after that.
The inspiration for it. That's funny. That's funny. So, this book.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get into our thoughts. Matthew, go ahead.
Like what you mentioned with this book, this Jaws, this Great White Shark Seeking Revenge, was more of the plot for the film, but the book tries to explain it.
Yes.
In a way that it's just all coincidental. Really.
Yes.
And Ellen, right? Eleanor,
yes.
Ellen.
Yeah.
She's just she has this link to the shark where she senses it. She has this feeling. There's so much nonsense involved with this, her perspective of everything, in the book and in the film. And I did rewatch the film after I read this novelization, and there are many elements that were
many
removed from the film. And it makes me want to know, like, what, because this is based off of the screenplay. I want to know what that original script looked like.
Well, it's weird because while I was reading this, I noticed some things too. Jeremy, I don't know if you've read the original Jaws novel, but
not all the way through. When it got to what happened to the cat, I said no.
Yeah,
I don't like when the felines are harassed or murdered or anything.
Well, that really got my attention because, like, when I was just like, wait, this is supposed to be a novelization, but it felt more like a sequel novel to the original Jaws novel because it was referencing a lot of things that happened in the book that didn't happen in the movie at all. Like Jeremy said, like there was an incident where someone killed the Brody cat because Chief Brody was trying to close down the beaches, and then it said like the mayor was involved with the wrong people, like real estate agents were sending them threatening letters or something like that. And I was like, wait, what? Like I thought this was a novelization to the film, but like but as Matthew was saying, like the whole revenge part was not even the shark had really nothing to do with it. It was more of a pawn from the person that was actually seeking revenge on the Brody family.
Right.
So yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah. Jaws and the Revenge is what it should have been.
Yeah.
Yet that Hoagie character, who was the pilot that brought, he just brings people from the U.S. to the Bahamas.
Yeah, charter pilot. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's involved in this crime ring type thing, or he's working for the, who was it? The FBI,
the DEA, I think.
DEA, yeah, the Drug Enforcement Agency, trying to do this sting operation on this mafia organization that was like dealing cocaine, which I don't even know if we could say that on here, but dealing drugs, these people were, and he was getting his life threatened all the time. Michael, Ellen's son, had all these suspicions about Hoagie the whole time, thinking that he was a drug dealer. He was smuggling drugs. Didn't like him, and in the film, we did get that sense that Mike didn't like Hoagie at all, but it never mentioned anything about the drug stuff in the film.
There's
in the
a
book
throwaway line in the movie of what he used his plane for, and he says laundry.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, I was kind of thinking that was like a misdirection. Like, maybe he was still like working with the government, and like he was just trying to be like discreet about it. There was also a throwaway line about the shark was actually controlled by a
oh God! You spit it out. You got to throw it out here, Adam. Who's
his name was
the shark?
His name was Papa. How do you say his name? I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, I need to look
Papa
it up again.
Papa Jacques or
Papa Jacques
or Jacques.
Jacques.
That's it. Jacques.
Papa Jacques.
Because
there's a lot of French in that whole area of the world. There's a lot of French connections.
And Papa Jacques, this is all like the shark was controlled by like voodoo, and and there was a throwaway line in the movie where Ellen was like, on this, was freaking out because she was like trying to tell Michael to quit his job as a marine biologist, and he was like, "You can't believe that voodoo. Sharks don't commit murder. They don't just pick a random person or something like that." And I was just like, it was tying it, like making a little reference to the novel there. But yeah, that was I'm just gonna say this was a very convoluted mess of a book, and I would rather watch the movie 10 times a row in a day than read this book again.
Well, I mean, what's crazy is, like, can I get into a character death here?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, we spent like I'll get into a couple deaths. There is one, I think it was a full chapter about some college-age kid who is windsurfing, has these, like, he's rich, his dad's like real cocky and like telling him like, oh, if you're not winning, then you're just a loser type kind of a guy. Like, you picture him just being this college frat guy that's just cocky and a jerk. Well, he gets like ripped in half by the shark in this one chapter. Pretty graphic. And then the other death scene that I wanted to talk, which that wasn't in the movie at all, but the other one that I found to be very anticlimactic was the death of Jake, Mike's business partner, and they're this big connect. They have a good connection. They're good friends. They're co-workers. They're trying to get their doctorate, and all like at the end, Jake just he jumps in the water, and then the shark took him. That's it.
Yeah, they had different endings in the film, which all of them were stupid. There was only one of those endings that was actually plausible. But Jake dies in all but one ending. Like he's trying to like throw this transmitter, I think, into the shark's mouth that'll help like send an electrical pulse through it. And while they're waiting for the shark jumps up and mauls Jake. But in one ending, he survives. And that's the I think that's the DVD ending. That's like whenever you buy the DVD, like I think that's like the regular ending. But
Yeah.
And then the plausible ending is when the shark gets harpooned and it sinks to the bottom of the ocean. But there's also somewhere it's electrocuted, it roars like a lion for some reason, and it gets impaled and just blows up.
I laughed at that, and I was laughing at it, and my wife, she was like sitting next to me with headphones on, like trying to do something different, and I was like, hey, you have to watch this, and I rewound it to play it. The lion just like rah, and I'm like, she laughed. That was funny and ridiculous, so tacky. It happens a couple times. He just roars like a dinosaur, and then blows up.
Yeah, like even in one of those alternate endings, like when it's about to show the shark being impaled, it shows like a slow-mo of the shark like hanging in midair, and like you can just see the harpoon just like, or the front of the boat just like slowly about to like impale the shark. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the shark just randomly blowing up after it gets impaled.
Gosh,
anyway,
like, the stuff that just went on and on and on that bored me out of my mind was the crime element of the book.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's easily the worst part of it.
It is. Yeah. It really is. And the voodoo stuff was very silly. Like that Papa, we would say Jacques. He was a weird one. I thought he was going to be like a comic relief kind of in the beginning, but then it turned out like, no, he wasn't comic relief. People actually were scared of him, and he would cast these like voodoo spells on people, and actually had the daughter of Mike Brody possessed. There was a weird possession where she was like, had like a demon in her, and she was like, I can't remember the exact line, but she's like, I am, what is it? It was called like a Loa is what it was called, but I don't remember what it was called.
I am Groot.
And her name was Thea, right?
Thea.
Was her name Thea? She's like, I am not, there is no Thea, only whatever. That's not the line, but like, that's what it was. There's no Thea, only Groot. It's like, what? It just went on and just got weird for a while. And I didn't like it.
Yeah. So Jeremy, me and Matthew have been kind of ranting. Please share your thoughts.
You want me to do this?
I'm a little scared, but yeah, go ahead.
This is no slight to you, Adam. This is the worst thing we have ever read on paper movies. I didn't finish it. That's how bad it was.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh God, I couldn't do it. I'm sitting there. I mentioned this. I alluded to this in my video that came out a couple days ago. But like, I'm sitting there, and it's not the worst thing that we've done for paper. Like as a book club, this is the worst. It's not as bad as Halloween Kills. I got a third of the way through this before giving up. Halloween Kills, I gave up on chapter 3. So no, my big problems with this book are, number one, it wants to be something that it isn't.
Yes,
it is trying so hard to not be Jaws the Revenge.
It's like trying to be the first novel.
It's trying to be the first novel. It references what I'm assuming Hank Sears wrote Jaws 2's novelization as well. And it seems like it's referencing that, although I've not read that, so I can't say whether it is or not. There's a lot of unnecessary characterization. This is what happens when we say, oh, we like when things are flushed out. This is when that's taken too far.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
The drug plot, like the whole crime syndicate part, is so bland and awful. It's just so much been there and done that because, we had that in the first novel. We got to put it in here. even though it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because they turned that. It's like a whole nother story. Because Hoagie, like he's doing this because his daughter went missing several years ago.
Yeah, they make some slight reference to that in the movie where Ellen was like still mourning her son's death, and you know he says, "I know what you're going through, but trust me, the nightmares go away." So I'm just like, "Oh, okay, that might he might be referencing his daughter." Yeah, but yeah, like go ahead. I'm sorry, Jeremy.
This reminded me of the novelization of Rise of Skywalker, when randomly Lando has memories of his daughter that was taken away by the First Order, and it's not brought up. It doesn't lead to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of things are brought up, and then they don't go anywhere.
I mean, we even have we have a viewer right now, Bad Moon Horrors. He said that Hank Searls also did the same thing in the Jaws 2 novelization, just referencing the original novel a lot. And I'm just like, but why would you call it a novelization if like 75% of the book is like not even from the movie? Like it's go ahead.
It comes down to this. I'm going to use a disgusting analogy right now. It's like you crap on the floor twice. Just one is diarrhea. That's Jaws: The Revenge, the film, and the other one is just like a brick feces. Like it's like a brick. It's like the complete opposite. And that's the novelization of Jaws: The Revenge. Which is better? At the end of the day, they're both crap.
I know, but I was so hoping for this to be better than the film, but I'm like, like I said, I'd rather watch the film like repeatedly.
I mean, here's the thing with the film is like, to me, I thought the acting was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
The lady that played Ellen, I didn't think she did that good in this movie.
She's overacting.
She's overacting, but like everybody else seemed like they were giving it all. And I thought they did very well, but the story was so stupid that it's like, wow, this is an awful movie. All of these people should have been making something else that could have been great, you know? But
yeah. But instead, for some reason, someone decided that Jaws, that would be a good franchise.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I just don't get why Jaws has sequels.
I don't either. The shark dies in each one.
I know. It's just like, and they get, here's what I'm going to like, so here's the thing. The whole revenge plot with like I said, in the book, they try to explain, like give a more plausible reason as to why the shark is going after the Brody family. And I'll admit it's more plausible than, you know, the shark just like, I don't like this family, I'm going to follow them half across the world and eat them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
well, let me.
It's just like one, like you said, the shark dies in each of the movies. Like, but why would, like, how does that make sense as why this shark has a vendetta? Like, was it the shark's brothers that were killed or something like that?
Yeah, it's like a mafia in itself, you know. That's, you kill one and then they're like, hey, this guy took out our family, so we're gonna go hunt down this other family. You know, it's just like, come on, guys.
But it's like, let me say this. I think it would be better if we didn't explain why the shark's going there. That would be creepier. That would be like a genuine like horror. It'd still be dumb, don't get me wrong. But if we didn't explain it, you know, there'd be some, or better yet, make the voodoo ambiguous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like just, this book is just about over explaining. That's all this book is. It's over explaining things that don't necessarily need to be flushed out. You could cut 200 pages out of this book and it would probably be fine. Actually, I can almost guarantee it'd be a lot more approachable. Like, a book like this doesn't need to be well, not 200, like cut 150 pages out. Like it doesn't need to be 300 plus pages.
No,
It
it
just
does
doesn't.
not.
It's just so unnecessarily long-winded. And I
Well,
felt bad. Like I gave this a try even when I spilled tea on it. I'm reading my sticky book. Like try it. But
okay,
like I couldn't do it, you know?
the pacing though was like horrible. Like,
Yeah.
did you guys notice that? Like, it could be talking about one scene. It could be talking about like, and Michael and Jake were on the boat, discussing how they're going to follow the shark, and then all of a sudden we are now back, with, uh, Hoagie, and Ellen
Eating
and
a
everything
hoagie.
like. And
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Something else that was completely different was the art by Mike's wife. Tiffany was like the girlfriend of
Carla, her name is
Mike's
Carla.
brother that died in the beginning. Yeah, Carla. She's doing this art piece that is not to be revealed at all. It's like covered the whole time. So you have this like mysterious element going on, and then in the film, Mike and Ellen just open a door to the shed and see the art piece, and you can see like the disgust in Ellen's face. She's like, "Ooh, that's art." But in the book, like it's covered up, it's mysterious, and then when it is revealed, like
it's revealed that it's like the shark. Yeah,
right. She sees the shark, and somebody else sees something different, and it's like, this is another pointless direction. Like, what are we doing with this? I mean, you know what it reminds me of? It's like a dragon slayer that failed.
Yes. It's a bloated dragon slayer.
Yep.
Like
all these added elements and trying to get into things that just aren't necessary, but Dragon Slayer did it right, where it was like, oh, this is cool. It's giving us lore to a cool story. That's where this is. The best part about this book is the shark coincidentally being in places that it shouldn't be. Explaining that stupid stuff that we see in the film of, oh, the shark's after my family. It's like, no, it's actually just kind of on accident. He heard some noises, so he followed the sound, and then, oh, look, somebody put their hand in the water.
We do have another comment though. Apparently, the shark in Jaws: The Revenge is the offspring from the one in Jaws 2, which
that's one of the things I thought they were alluding to in the beginning.
I did not know that.
But like the thing is, like there aren't that. I was also assuming that that's the Jaws 2 shark is the offspring of the original Jaws shark. Like, because there can't be that many of them left. In fact, the shark is reflecting on that, I guess. Which that's a whole nother thing that's bizarre about this book. We get shark perspective on occasion, and it's just
something else.
Like,
yeah.
It reminded me of a good book called The Wolfen, where there are like these weird wolves, and you get the wolves' perspective on things because they're hyper intelligent, and it's like written really well, and it's creepy. But this just feels out. Everything in this book feels out of place. It's like you put a bunch of like different plots to things in a blender, and then
that's a good way to put it
to someone.
Going back to what we said earlier about how this book was trying to be something else, like it was trying to be the original novel. There was another element that I saw. Now, Peter Benchley, the characters in the book were not likable in any way. Like they and that was kind of this. I got the same vibe reading this book. Like everybody was like either a jerk and it was there was a couple of moments where I thought like, okay, that was interesting, but then there was like what was it? But then there was a couple of moments where like I was like, okay, that's different. Like with when they were when Thea was went missing, and they went out looking for her, and then like when Ellen found her, all of a sudden, like I think Papa Jacques was controlling her, like making her dance randomly or something on the beach and everything. So,
yeah, it got weird. I mean, I thought Mike was likable. He was just like, he didn't like Hoagie because he's like, oh, he might be doing drug stuff. Mom, stay away from him. Papa, whatever, Jacques, he's like, get out of here before I, pick you up and take you out of here. And he took his job serious. He really wanted his PhD. He liked his job. His mom was telling him, like, get out of the water. You can't do this, which we'll talk more about her in a second. But I thought he was a likable character, trying to just like make a living, take care of his mom. Like, hey, you could come live down here. You could be with us, be with family. Stop worrying about stuff. Everything's good. And he wanted his wife to succeed with her art, but we see that he gets pretty ticked off with her at the end and acts like a baby. I guess, yeah, he could be a jerk, but yeah, with Ellen, how many times does she pull out a gun and go to the beach? Is it like twice?
Yeah,
Like
she pulls out Sean's gun, and
which is also what's his face is the sheriff.
Oh, Chief Brody, yeah.
Chief Brody, which it was so clear that Hank's Searls,
I think,
really wanted him in it, and he couldn't. So he writes a bunch of bad flashbacks.
Yeah, I remember they wanted, like, there was like this whole thing. I'm going on a tangent here, but there was what's his name? What's that actor's name that played Chief Brody?
I can't remember.
I can't remember his name either.
I'm gonna look it up. But the actor was. They asked him if he wanted to be in Jaws 2, and he didn't want to. But I think he was under contract to, and like Roy Scheider, there we go. He did not want to be in Jaws 2, and like he hated the experience, and like
he looks miserable in Jaws 2.
Yeah,
it's not Jaws 2. If you're gonna watch one of these sequels, and like Jaws 2 is the one that closest resembles a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Jaws, but with more carnage and trying to be an 80s slasher.
Yeah, the Freddy Krueger Jaws, yeah.
And then like Jaws 3 is like the best one because it's so embarrassing. It's just, who thought, let's make a 3D movie underwater on a blue screen. Gee, I wonder why the fish don't look like they're 3D.
Yeah, I mean the shark graphics were somewhat better, like without the not the 3D scenes, but like some of the shark attacks in that scene were better in this film. But like I have my okay. I mean we're getting
the shark. I say something that does compare to the book. There's a ship down at the bottom of the ocean. Mike goes into this like airtight room where there's a skeleton of some guy in this boat that was at the bottom. Sank somehow. I can't remember. I think it might have been a warship or something. He goes into that room to hide from the shark. And in the film, like Jaws or whatever the shark's name is, Jaws, I guess. He the shark's able to go down like the hallways inside the ship, and it looks really goofy because he looks massive on the outside, but then all of a sudden he's in the ship too, and he looks like a tiny fish going through the thing, and they burst through a wall inside the old ship, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is comedy.
They actually redid that whole scene and and touched up with somewhat modern effects. I'll send you the link to that, guys. It's actually pretty cool, but it shows the shark going in that sunken freighter and everything, and it looks actually more menacing than what we got in the film, but I'll send that to you. It was actually pretty good. But my thing with these sharks are this is nitpicky. I know that these are just horror films, but there is no great white shark that I know of. Like the shark in Jaws was 25 feet. The shark in Jaws 2, I think it was around the same size. Jaws 3 was a 35-foot shark, a great white shark. That there is no great white shark that big. That is borderline megalodon.
Megalodon.
And Jaws: The Revenge, I think it was around little over 25 feet. And I'm just like, are they like building up to like this big Jaws movie where it's revealed all these sharks are baby megalodons or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's building up to Shark Attack 3.
Oh, shark! Yeah, that was a fun movie in itself. Yeah, I actually met the main actor of that. So
That's right, I forgot.
we got more Star Wars Timeline is joining us. Hey Ben, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us. And also, yeah, we got Bad Moon Horrors and Kane Donuts, Small Time, all joining us too. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Guys, save me from this.
I mean, do you guys don't think that Searls is remarkably eloquent, and that you'll stand up and cheer after reading this novel?
Well, not this novel. I will give Jaws 2 novelization a chance. I'll still read that one.
I mean, do you not think that this is like a sea of adventure that echoes in the mind of, like, pings on a radar?
I mean, if it pings in a radar, that means a shark's coming out to eat us. So
This just pings in a toilet bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading the reviews on the back of the book. There's by the Los Angeles Times, the Washington Post, and the Chicago Tribune said, "Tout, crisp, intensely readable."
Who says tout?
I don't know.
That's how you know that's fake.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Taut, T-A-U-T. I don't know. I've never seen that word printed out. So I just know that it's a lie.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking up
Okay.
what that word means.
This is not intensely readable. I don't know
I'm
how
gonna-
I would have been through this if I didn't get sick. I was like down for 2 days, and I was like, I'm going to read. If I did not do that, I'd be sitting like Jeremy and be like, I don't know if I could get through it.
So we've been going on like big tangents and just like the Jaws franchise entirely, but with this book, man, I really wanted to like this book, but I finished the rest of this in a coffee shop this morning, and I came home and I was just like, I told my wife, like, I finished Jaws: The Revenge. She's like, oh, cool. Was it good? I was like, no. No.
He's like,
that was her reaction. She started laughing. I'm just like, no, that was. I don't like being negative when it comes to reviewing books, but
I'm surprised after you read it, you didn't just like leave the coffee shop and go straight into a bar.
Well, I mean, it was like 8:30 in the morning.
Well, get an Irish coffee at that point.
Yeah, very true. But
just bartender, I just read Jaws: The Revenge. Can you fill me up with something, please?
Just whiskey on the rocks, please.
Yeah. But my gosh, like, I was kind of on the way home though, like, or after I read this, I was just like, was this worse than the Predator novelization we had to read?
Yes, and I will explain why.
I got to give you that. It was pretty bad. Yeah. Go ahead.
The one caveat, the Predator novelization had an audiobook.
Okay.
And it was shorter, I think.
And I will explain this because I wasn't clear in my video. I will suffer through an audiobook. Like, I'm more keen to do that because I'll either A, be driving, or B, be doing something else. I can angrily wash dishes to Jaws: The Revenge if it was an audiobook, you know?
Yeah.
But when you read, it's not like I can do other things while reading. You're stuck.
Yeah.
You got to sit there. So maybe you can stand and read if you're weird like that. Like, I'm either going to be sitting in my chair or sitting on the toilet. Like, that's...
Either way, whether you're on the chair or on the toilet, you'd be reading it, and each time be like, Chapter 12, I hate you so much, Adam. Chapter 13,
I didn't blame you because I thought... I was really worried about you because your expectations were pretty high for this.
Mm-hmm.
I was... Like, I'll give it this. The beginning of this book was pretty good. And I was actually drawn to it. But then once, kind of like the film, once we get to the Bahamas, it's like...
For me, it got dumb at the funeral.
Oh, can we make the argument that this is a Christmas movie? Jaws: The Revenge.
The worst Christmas movie since Christmas Vacation 2.
I mean, everybody wants to make the argument of like, what is it, Die Hard? Is it Die Hard Christmas? I'm so sick of that argument. Let's bring up Jaws: The Revenge is a Christmas movie.
I will call
Yeah.
it a Christmas movie if we can call Batman Returns a Christmas movie.
Can we
Deal.
call Die Hard 2 Die Harder a Christmas movie? That's at Christmas time too.
Die
'Cause
Harder.
that movie rips off just about everything from Die Hard, but just dumber.
Oh
Okay.
man.
It does
So
have a scene
This should have been the Christmas special.
was
But then Christmas would have sucked after this, so you're right.
if it was the Christmas special, I could just not be
Bail
there.
out.
was there any part of this book though that you guys actually liked? I'm actually curious.
No. Sorry. No.
I mean, I just like probably the relation, like the friendship and banter between Jake and Mike
I did like
was
that.
fine. But and that's like why I was so disappointed with his death. I mean, it was just like, oh, he's dead, forget him, when we move on to the next thing. And like it wasn't like a build up, there was no drama, like, you know, Mike's not like, oh, Jake, crap, I gotta do something. It was just like Jake jumped in the water and he was pulled under. The end. Like the most
I know, and he
boring
was
Roll
just like,
credits.
yeah, he's like a main character in the book, and it's just dead, gone, bye.
I know, and I think I remember reading that Michael just yelled no, and then it was just like, well, oh well, I guess he's gone. You know, it's
Yeah.
just like that's
In the film, it was
that's friendship.
dramatic.
Yeah,
Because the film, when I watched it, the ending was Jake gets pulled under, it's all bloody, and you're like, oh man, that was brutal. And then he, like at the end, after Shark gets blown up, Jake comes floating up to the top when he's swimming. He's like, hey, I'm all good.
I kind of I dropped my book. I kind of want to ask Matt Wilkins what he thought because he read both those Jaws novelizations.
He did.
I know because I suggested them to him, and I kind of at this point think I should send him a "I'm sorry" note right now.
Send him an apology card in the mail.
I don't know that dude like
okay.
Wild Space, the novel, Star Wars novel. So his taste.
But again, I'll hold my critiques for Jaws 2 novels. I haven't read it yet, so I'll give that one a chance. But for this one, yeah, I was just like, yeah, sorry, I didn't know.
I did appreciate the short chapters. I'm becoming a big fan of that. Like, you know, it was broken up into different parts, but like kind of like how Rambo had parts and chapters, and and this did the same sort of thing. And I appreciate that because it's like, okay, because I hate long chapters and then like having it stop and then you go back and you're like, oh wait, where was I? This just kind of separates it up, you know, for quick reads, quick sessions, and you feel like you're making progress, you know.
Well, this book, like I said, the pacing was so bad, it's completely a 180 turn from the movie itself that it gives you whiplash for two different reasons because like it jumps from scene to scene like very quickly and everything. Like we could be like I said, over here, then we're here, then we're at this spot, then we're back over here, and I'm just like, and then
all of a sudden we're in the morgue with Hoagie and there's a shootout. It was weird.
Why are we having shootouts in a Jaws story?
Oh yeah, the you dropped out at this point, but when Hoagie he goes to that sting operation to arrest these drug lords, it's in like a morgue, a funeral parlor, and DEA agents are down there like pretending to do stuff.
Oh yeah, you know that. Go ahead, Matthew. I'm sorry.
And then there's a shootout, and then the bad guys get away, and then Hoagie's like chasing them down the streets. It gets ridiculous.
Go ahead.
The bad guy, whatever his name was, he like kills a little kid in the alleyway, and Hoagie, but he's determined he's gonna get those kids, or not the kids, to get the bad guy, and revenge for his kid.
No, I gotta murder the children before you.
It should be Hoagie's revenge, is what this should be.
Well,
yeah,
and also it's you know that hole in the movie, the plane scene at the end where they're looking for Ellen because the shark attacked Thea on the beach, which that does happen in the novel. It's like I said, a little bit more convoluted in the book, but she does go out on the Neptune's Folly, Michael's boat, and tries to search for the shark. But Jake, Hoagie, and Michael go into an airplane to go search for Ellen. But they're actually joined by the villain who has them at gunpoint.
That's true. Yeah. There's a dude on their ship with a gun.
Yeah.
He dies.
Yeah.
So that was good. I don't know, like, what would you guys rate the book? Well, I know nobody liked it, but what do you score it? And you just giving it an F?
Are
You
we?
giving it a 0.0? What are we doing?
Do we have our first triple F grade for
Yeah, I
this?
give it a 0.
So F in that terms, Matthew.
I mean, it's hard because I don't know if I would want to read this again or watch the film, because the film was so bad
The
and the
film's
book just takes up so much time, and it was still so bad. So
the film's easier to get through though.
yeah, it takes an hour and a half to get through, and the actors did a good job, like we mentioned. The book filled in some gaps that I thought could have been better, like the Jaws, like the shark's perspective of like he's going places, and I get into these situations, and Ellen just happens to be there, rather than seeking out and being a strange supernatural stupid thing. I give it an F. I give it an F. Just like the film, I give it an F too. It was stupid.
I give it an F too. Yeah,
Uh,
like I said, I don't like being negative, but there's just times where, oh man, go ahead, Jeremy. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm kind of embarrassed to ask, but did Hoagie put his hoagie in Ellen's oven?
No.
Was there just a bunch of sexual tension for no reason? Oh, it's definitely getting a 0. That wasn't even the. We.
Let's timestamp this as the moment where we got our explicit tag.
Well,
hey guys, remember GoldenEye?
No. Well, we're talking about baking here.
hoagie sandwiches,
Yeah.
So it's just
We're
a
talking
pilot.
about the act of baking.
Oh my God.
I mean, there was that fight. We had a fight on the plane, that Hoagie's plane, when the drug lord was on the plane with Jake, and they fought, and the gun would get transferred between Jake and then the drug lord, and it was stupid. And Mike was there too.
You know what's also that I noticed? The shark is less in this book than he is in the film.
Yeah, which is
how can you call this Jaws? I don't care about drug family dramas with goofy voodoo. I want a shark
Well,
eating people.
Yeah, in the first book, I mean, there was the mafia and everything like that, but there was a reason for it being there. Like it was all connected to the shark because it was affecting real estate and everything on the island, and the mafia had invested in and everything like that. At least that explains. Like this, it's just like I'm going to try to be like the first book. Let's bring in the mafia and it's just.
Retitle the book Jaws, Hoagie's Revenge, The Voodoo Poodoo.
Thank you. And how do we continue after that?
Guys, and if for our people in the chat, if you read this book and you liked it, that's great, but we're sorry, it was just like I said, it was. I'm going to go watch the film right now, just so that way I can forget about the book.
Well, I mean, our next month's book, I'm hoping.
Uh-oh. Next month's book is what now?
Well, it's your pick. So
am I announcing it? Are we at that point now?
Are we there? Or did I rush you?
Is there anybody? Anybody have anything else they want to say about Jaws: The Revenge?
No.
Like I said, as I was reading, I'm just like, they're going to call this Jaws: The Revenge because Matthew and Jeremy are going to want revenge on me for making us read this book.
I do have one more question about it after you finish your thought, Jeremy. I'm sorry.
The only person I want revenge on is the author.
Like I said, I'm going to give Jaws. I'm going to give Jaws to the benefit of the doubt. I still will read that one, but
my question is, why is this book hard to find? Why is this a $25 book?
I was thinking that too.
Because it was printed once, It doesn't matter. Like all those Friday the 13th books are like hundreds of dollars, and you could.
Yeah.
Who knows if they're crap or not?
That's a
You
good
know?
question. Yeah.
It's a niche with it. It's a novelization, and it's a horror novelization technically. So it's a niche within a niche. You know.
I'm surprised. Okay. This printing history, this is 1987.
That's when the
For
movie came out.
For some reason, I thought it was a 90s movie, like an early 90s.
No.
Okay.
Wow.
I will agree. We have a comment. Bad Moon Horse says the novelization does have a higher body count, which I do agree with. Yeah, there was more deaths in this book than there was in the movie. But there is something I will say that on this. This this actually felt more like this sequel.
Oh,
Well,
sorry. Go ahead. What was that? What happened?
Oh no, sorry. I think my mic got muted for a minute. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. This felt like it tied into the original stories better, in my opinion, for this reason. Did you guys notice that in Jaws 3D, the Brody boys, Michael and Sean, Jaws 2 was like in the late 70s, like 1977, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like 17 and 10 years old or somewhere around there. And then 1983, 5 years, Michael's like in his early 30s and Sean's like in his mid 20s. I'm like, how does that happen? Yeah. And then it's like the only reason it tied into the movies or the first two movies was because, we say it does. I'm like, but it doesn't make but it doesn't make sense whatsoever. Just like, yeah, but they're like, I mean, you could have just said like, oh, this movie takes place in the 1990s and like, but no, like, but the age gap makes a little bit more sense, but still a little off in ways. But anyway, that's my rant on that. I've been wanting to rant about that for a while. So
fair enough.
Yeah. Wow. So we all gave it an F.
Yep.
Next month, hopefully, will be a better experience for everybody. We're getting into a story that I know nothing about. Never saw the film.
Me
It's
neither.
a film I love.
Never heard of the film until I saw the novelization. It's gonna be Kroll, written by Alan Dean Foster.
Yes.
So
the maestro.
We've had some pretty good experiences on the Paper Movies
Alien,
book club with Alan Dean Foster. So looking forward to reading that. And I already got a head start on it. Started it a couple nights ago. Just not even through the first chapter yet, but got some of it done. So I'm excited for it.
I might watch the film first because I've never seen it, and then I'll read.
It's Liam Neeson's first movie.
Oh, it is.
He's a supporting character in it, yeah.
Okay.
It's one of his first, I should say.
It might be a good idea to watch this movie first before I read it, because that usually helps you get through it.
It's
easier.
fun.
Yeah. Okay, good. That has me happy.
But yeah, so that's our discussion for Jaws: The Revenge. Like I said, I'll still watch the film because it's terrible, but I do find some enjoyment in it. But this will only be now for collecting
purposes.
I will never open this book again unless it's like I have a reason to.
Yeah.
And that reason is to be like, what did it say in that one chapter? Yeah, but yeah, no.
It's a reference book now.
Yeah, it's
yeah. We need to reprint this back cover with it's got 3 reviews on it. We need to put our 3 reviews on it. For 2 cents.
I'll say this is now the best doorstop ever. But yeah, so hopefully next month will be better. It's Kroll is actually shorter, I think. Yeah, it's like almost 100 pages short.
Most things are.
Yeah.
Most things are shorter than Jaws: The Revenge.
Yeah. Yeah. And most of the novelizations we read are shorter, except for when it's my month. And for some, I'm always drawn to like 300-page books or something. To be fair, though, there has been some good ones. Like Spider-Man was actually a good read.
Mm-hmm. And Batman was short.
Yeah.
That might be the only short one you've ever picked.
This is, and it's weird. This is the only, I think this is one of the first ones that I picked that was not comic book related.
Yeah.
Right. And there are no photos in this Jaws the Revenge
That's a plus.
novelization either.
It gets a 0.001 from me.
Oh, okay. So your score went up. Still an F, though.
An F.1. There we go.
Yeah.
No, 0.1. 0.001.
Okay. That's funny.
So, yeah, but guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for joining us on this very interesting discussion on paper movies. Jaws the Revenge was not better than the movie, and
I'm going to have my revenge on the toilet.
Yeah, I was going to say, to quote Matthew when he first held the 2016 Ghostbusters. Here, see?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go outside right now. I think we should all go outside now and start, punting this across our backyards.
Go kick it over the fence. Oh yeah, there's like a kid that lives next door. He could like go outside and be like, he could be floating in the swimming pool. And he could be like, whoa. Then he could read it, and then
I was about to say, Jeremy, you live closest to the ocean, so you can just like I'm sending this back to the ocean.
I'll take it to Carmel with me. How's that sound?
There you go.
But anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Again, you can find us at our individual channels, Jeremy Stupid Chainsaw Productions, Matthew at Geeks Attic and Tuscan Reader, and you find me at Red 5 Reviews and Bryant VRM. So, yeah, thanks again. Join us next month for Kroll.
Go get your copies, guys. Start reading now.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Right here. This one right here. Yep.
Oh, we're doing a thing.
Yeah. Book 5.
Why did they put Jeremy's face on the cover here?
Dude, that's just me on the toilet.
Oh, gosh. All right. With that note, bye, everybody.